Good day, everybody. Matthew from Captive Audience Comics here. Today, what we have for you guys is unboxing of a small box back from CGC. There should have been more in this box, but CGC didn't combine our shipping correctly, so we got some stuff back before others, but we don't know exactly when that other box is going to come in. So we thought we'd do a unboxing of this one now. Also, we have to check for damage because there's a limited time window for us to correct if there's any ME damage in the shipment for us to send it back to CGC. So we want to make sure we take a look at that. So let's go ahead and see. Also, CGC's large boxes have been switching to a firmer bubble surround system, which is much better. I don't know if this mid-size box is going to be the same, but we'll see. You'll see that, you know, it says fragile all over it. The fragile stickers don't mean anything. Corners still get, still get crushed. You can see here, okay, whether it says fragile or not. People always say, oh, you got to put a fragile sticker on it. That'll make sure that it gets to me safely. We've been there and done that over the years. It makes zero difference in package damage in our numbers. So also these packages, of course, CGC says signature required on return, and we just found it out on the front porch. So FedEx isn't always so great at following through on the signature portion, even though we'll get charged for it, even though they didn't do it. But we live in a secure neighborhood, plus I have a lot of security cameras around our property. Where we're located, there's no side or entrance of our location that's not under 24-hour surveillance. So, God forbid something did happen, at least we'd have some sort of evidence that we can share. So, let's see here. So the smaller packages are still being sent traditionally with the paper housing. By the way, if you wonder what happens internally when there's corner damage, that's what happens. Okay, it's focusing on my face, but you can see that's the top piece, okay, in the CGC box. Again, this is why the bubble wrap section is, frankly, in our opinion, is a better solution. Now, that corner damage, luckily, is in the section up here, where, because we only have 10 in here and not 15, or whatever, 9, I think there's 9 in here, it crushed the corner where there was double cardboard, so we got lucky on this one, because normally that would mean that outer one would be cracked. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what we got. What do we want to start with? What end do we want to start on? I guess it doesn't really matter. Does it really matter? Interesting. Yep. Okay. Well, let's take a look here. Yeah. Whatever. We'll start over here. So, again, these we'll end up obviously putting these in proper slab bags, but these are just the CGC's crappy plastic bags here. So Wolverine Volume 2, number 8, in a 9.8, and slab looks good. Now these should all be the new slabs. If you're interested on how the new slabs stack up compared to the second gen slabs, for ease of cracking for CPR, all that kind of stuff, we just uploaded a video to our YouTube channel on that one. So, if you're interested, go check it out. These cases are much better. I find that they have better reinforcing even in the acrylic. It's kind of hard. I don't know if you'd even be able to see it in this, but there's like right here, this is like a raised ridge as well, which helps reinforce the plastic and allows them to nest together. And we're not seeing as much. You still see some of it, this discoloration in the side. Yeah, you see it right here. Discoloration on the side where the acrylic isn't fully sealed in there, even though they say that they're sealing these things all the way around. But that's not as bad as it was. So as long as the slabs aren't damaged, then I'm not so worried about the rest of that. Okay, Wolverine Volume 1 and a 9.8. Now again, these books here are Captive Audience Comics books. Obviously, we cleaned and pressed them, got them looking their best, and obviously you can see how that's paid off in the grades. You know, not every book is a candidate to be brought up to a 9.8 even with cleaning and pressing, but you know, when you do, I don't know, 15, 16,000 books for submissions, you start to get a pretty decent idea of what's going to be a contender or not. And a lot of times we will send in books that are like 9.6, 9.8 borderline because we know that's really going to depend on the grader. Infinity Gauntlet, a number 1 in a 9.8. Again, this slab looks good. I'm not seeing any damage to this slab. If these slab redesigns, if anything, if that helps prevent some of that extra damage, again, you can see where it's actually hasn't not sealed all the way around. But if these slabs just stop being cracked and they come through, then that's good enough for me. I was sending books back from every single submission back for ME replacement. It was nightmare. X Factor number 5, CPV, Canadian price variant in a 9.6. Okay, so first appearance of Apocalypse in Cameo. Okay, obviously as a CPV newsstand, it's, you know, has a lower print run. You can actually see the reason it's a 9.6 is there. I can get my light off of there. There's like a color break right in there. Spine crease that broke the color on the edge. So this one we assumed was going to be a 9.6, and it was, so that's okay. All right, what's next? What's next? So Fantastic Four 353 in a 9.8. So first appearance of Mobius, and the first appearance down here in the UPC box. Okay, so this is an interesting book that obviously the success of the Loki TV series is really what's made this book more valuable, but it does really need to be a 9.8 to really make it worthwhile. It's interesting because there is a little bit, and you'll see this. Sometimes you'll see a little bit of weight, it's probably going to be hard to see. You can see that the tiny bit of waviness in here. You can see, obviously that it's not keeping it out of a 9.8 category. Would keep it out of a 9.9 or a 10 category. I find that even differences in location, you know, the book gets processed here at a certain relative humidity and then it goes someplace else, different temperature, different humidity, can cause the paper to do all sorts of bizarre things sometimes. X-Men number 4, first appearance Omega Red in a 9.8. Again, this is a consistent seller book. There are lots of copies, but there's not a lot of a lot is relative, I suppose, but there isn't a big rush to get these things graded. So there's a lot of raw copies out there in decent condition, and if you can get 9.8s on those, definitely worth feeling. Now, this is a client book. Okay, so now we do have copies of this book in our collection that will probably get graded. But of course, Ultimate Spider-Man number 1, Ultimate Spider-Man technically Volume 2 is the new release, and this is the A cover, which of course is the one that's spiked the most. And I'm happy for my customer because he had to buy this aftermarket, and it would cost him I don't know, $75 Canadian, $80, somewhere around there. So it's nice to see that he did get his 9.8 out of it, which is perfect. Again, case looks okay, not fully sealed, but there's no cracks or anything. Okay, got a couple more in here. Now, this is an interesting book. So this one that we sent in, when I found this in a collection, I was like, I haven't seen that cover before. So this is Hawkeye Mockingbird #1, but this is the Jurdovic variant for the Women of Marvel series they were doing. Okay, I had never seen one before in person, and the census numbers are really low. So I was like, well, it's in really good shape. So we sent it in, and this is one of those ones where I was like, yeah, 9.6, 9.8 kind of borderline, because it had this, and you can actually see how it's been rebent here. There was a pretty heavy crease here on the spine, right there, and we flattened it out, but you could still see where it was. Plus, there is a little bit of embedded dirt over the staple. It's going to be hard to see here, but over top of the staple, yeah, the light, it's there. You can just kind of see the little discoloration there. So the discoloration to me was keeping it out of 9.8 contention. The crease was smoothed out when I sent it in, but obviously it's, we've had a little bit of reversion because it was very, very deep crease. But we're happy with the 9.6 on that. The paper itself was creased even when we had it all nice and flat. You could see where it was. So again, a book that we thought was going to be a 9.6 and was a 9.6. And then the last book of this submission is an X Factor #6 in a 9.4. Again, we expected a 9.4 in this book. We got a 9.4. It's funny because I remember one of my, not a business partner, but a business person I was buying stuff from, had like a whole short box of these ranging between like a 9.2 and a 9.8. And he was like, I can't give these away. And like people wouldn't even pay $20 for it. But then, gradually Apocalypse got popular, and then this book's spiraled. Now, it's not a super valuable book, but it was worth grading, even at a 9.4. And again, lots of copies out there of this book, raw, and get one in decent condition, and it is worth getting that book graded. So that is all we got out of this one, because like I said, our shipment was split, so we'll have more stuff coming in separately. We'll do a video of those when they come in. But silver lining here, guys, is that none of the cases were cracked. None of the cases were damaged. It looks like the new case design is making them more robust, which is good. Still having some sealing issues around the sides, but not as drastic as the old slabs. And the new slabs do nest better. Obviously not when they're in bags. They don't nest so great when they're in bags, but they do nest better if that's how you like have your book stored. So we'll be processing the books that are our books for sale soon. So that's everything except the Ultimate Spider-Man. If there's anything that somebody's interested in, we'll be getting them priced in at fair market value. We typically look at the 90-day GPA, and we come in right at that point. So we're right in the middle. Keep in mind, people always look at GPA like it's the cap. GPA is the average. That means half the book sold for more than that, half the book sold obviously for less to come in there. So we like to be right in the middle. So we tend to shoot for right around GPA, obviously converted from US dollars into Canadian dollars. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and we'll get a new video out when the next one, next box comes in. You can check out our playlist of CGC Unboxing, which we will throw on the end card for you, plus a popular video you might want to see. And please give us a like and subscribe, turn on those notifications so that you'll know when we have new content up. Have a great day, everybody.